Hello, good morning, everyone. So I hope you have had um, a good time to come to this session. This is Dr. Vijayendra Nalla. You can see my profile here. We'll give a few more minutes for people, couple more minutes for people to come and join the session. There have been quite a lot of registrations, and I hope you're all as excited as I am for this workshop. So let me meanwhile explain you some practical elements related to this session. You can type in your questions as we go along, um, as the workshop progresses. So in this workshop, I'll take you through two important uh, um, elements which are related to two different businesses, one based in India and the other based in the Netherlands. So you can really understand what these businesses go through on a continuous basis. Now, the other practical aspects is that I will be showing you a question like this, and then I will be so this is a case study, a small case. Then there will be a set of questions, a question like this. I'll take you through this question. I'll explain you what this background is and what this question is, and I will give you a chance to make a poll. So you have to choose which of these five options in this case is the right option. So then I will use that your answers, the maximum, whoever chooses or whichever option gets the maximum votes, we will choose that, and we will see what the outcome of that particular uh, choice will be, right? And that way we have about 12 questions. You all have to participate in it. All the attendees here will get a certificate based on their participation and based on their engagement. So trust me, if you have engaged with this particular session, you will be definitely be benefiting in your job interviews or in your career initiatives. Um, so as I said, please keep on typing your questions. So maybe I'm quite confident that we'll have a lot of time to take questions at the end of the session as well. And in the meanwhile, if I can catch up with some questions, a couple of questions here and there, I will do that. But let's engage with the workshop as we make progress. Um, so let me kind of start off with this first question, which is about, let me tell you this case study. You'll have 6 questions about this case. So a young entrepreneur family recently, a young entrepreneur joined his family mango orchard business. So he is an educated graduate like yourself, a BSc or an agriculture engineering graduate, I guess. And he has joined his family mango orchard in India, based in India. And he has been quite unhappy with the 2016 harvest season, the profitability. So what made him very concerned is while the harvest was very good, the profits were very poor. Actually, they didn't make any profit. So he was based on his learnings from agribusiness management or from other stuff. So he clearly understood that something was not right while they were producing sufficient amount. So he said it could be because of assured market price, lack of assured market price, or everybody harvesting at the same time, and short shelf life of the product as the prime reasons. So he believes that they need to approach the business differently, and together with his two other brothers who are equal shareholders in the family business, they started looking at what are the possibilities. They started looking into this problem of not making profitability. So this workshop is titled as path to profitability. So most of the times we'll be looking at the dilemmas the business face or the challenges the businesses face in their path to profitability. Every business is striving to be profitable, to grow and profitably, to grow and grow profitably. So here is the first question. So I hope you have understood the background very well. I mean, you're all from India, so I'm assuming most of you are from India. So this is a very familiar situation for most of you. Maybe some of you have such a family background as well. So these three brothers started analyzing the problem, and one of the brother who manages the accounts pulled out the register. So this is the question context. So he says over 40%, that is 80 tons of the harvested 200 tons of the total produce did not yield them any revenues, and most of this produce was thrown away. Now, this is a serious case of losses, right? So now they started understanding the reasons for these losses. They came up with the following reasons for the waste within their mango value chain. So now the question to you is, which of these reasons do you believe contribute significantly to the problem? So what are the reasons? Their harvesting time matching with other fellow producers, leading to excess supply. So that is, everybody is harvesting at the same time, or more or less in the same time window. That is the reason for the losses, is what they have said as one of the reasons. A delay in selling the harvested produce due to unattractive price offer. So because they harvested the produce, but they did not sell it immediately because they did not get the right price offer, for example. So that led to this thing. Higher outside temperatures combined with lack of proper cold chain facilities. So this is another important reason that they cite. Their current buyers, supermarkets, not willing to buy next graded products. So that means when you harvest a crop, you have produce from different grades, right? Like and most of the everybody wants the top grade, the good looking mangoes, and the mangoes that can be ripe very well, and so on and so forth. So that means the other grades are not being wanted by anyone, so they're not, they are left unsold. So these are the four reasons, and then E is all the above. So what you have to do is reflect on this particular question now and make up your mind. What is the right, what do you think is the right answer? So that is what you have to do. You have to make up your mind now. And when I give you the poll, you should be able to say whether it is A, B, C, D, or E. So what do you think? Is it A, B, C, D, or E? Make up your mind, and then comes the poll question. Okay. So what do you think is the reason? I'm launching the poll now, so you can give your answer. So I'll wait for all of you to vote. All of you have to vote because this is a workshop, and as I said, your certification is very much dependent on your participation. So let's see. I'm still waiting for another 5 to 10 seconds. Okay, so now I'm closing the poll, and I'm sharing the results. So the results say that 53% of you have said E as the possibility, 12% A, 18% B, and 12% C, and 6% D. So as I promised, we will go with the one that has been chosen by the most. So I'm clicking on E, as you have all rightly said. Okay, this happens to be the correct answer. So let's review this a little bit. Why is this kind of a correct answer? So here the most important aspect is, what are the reasons for the shelf life, for the losses? So what are the reasons for the so now how should you approach this? um, if everybody produces at the same time, does that everybody harvests at the similar time window, does that lead to losses? Yes, because everybody's produce is on the market at the same time, and not everybody can buy at the same time, right? So there is more supply in that time window than there is demand, so not all the produce can go for sale. So that is definitely one of the reasons. Delay in selling the harvested produce due to unattractive price offer. Yes, when everybody is on the market, the price will be low, right? The price offered will be low. So if the price offered is low, some people, in this case, these family members might have chosen that, hey, let's wait for a couple more days, maybe the price will go up, right? And that would have led to some losses. Yeah, so some mangoes would have been lost because of that particular weight. So high outside temperature combined with lack of proper cold chain facilities is definitely another kind of reason. Because of course with heat, you expect more fruits to get spoiled, right? Um, and then the next graded products, buyers not willing to buy the next graded products is definitely a challenge, because what would you do with the other grades? I mean, if there is no market, if everybody wants the A grade products, then there is no market. So that's also a reason. So if you see, in essence, most of the fresh produce businesses go through all these particular they might experience in some cases some of these, but in most cases all of these challenges. For example, in the Western markets, in Europe and other colder countries, high outside temperature and lack of proper cold chain facilities is not going to be affecting that much, right? So that is not relevant. But in this case, all of these could be and are relevant factors and contributing to it. So I hope you have understood, you have got the dynamics of this workshop session. So now I'm taking you further. So now from here on, it becomes a little bit easier, right? How does it become easier? Let's see. So this question also uses the same background, which is the business case is the same now. That is the same family, same mango orchard situation, same problem. That is, they don't have enough profitability, and which is leading to them to reflect further. So the situation is the same. The question is different here now. So they started evaluating different options for reducing losses and increasing their turnover for better profitability, right? So if they reduce their losses, they can sell more. So turnover is sales, right? So they sell more, and which will lead to, if they sell more, the cost remaining constant, then they are able to make better profits. So which of these options would you think has the potential to offer significant benefits? More than one options are possible. So here, delaying the harvest time by a week or two. So if you delay the harvest time by a week or two, do you think you can uh, they can improve their sales and profitability a lot? That is one. Deploying a foolproof cold chain facility from harvest to consumption. So having a foolproof cold chain facility, what do you think? Would you think that that would have a positive impact? Creating an alternative market for next graded product. So that means you currently maybe sell in a particular market, maybe to retailers, or to you go to a mandi and you sell in general, and then um, those buyers would have a specific market. Maybe they're selling to high-end supermarkets or things like that. So maybe you could consider looking at other kind of markets, like a processing company, sending it to a bottling company. Already you grade it at your farm and send it to a bottling company, for example, or things like that. um, Deploying a controlled atmospheric technology packaging. So controlled atmospheric technology packaging makes it possible for you to store the products for a longer period of time. So for example, in the case of apples in the Netherlands, using this technology, they store apples and pears for up to 2 years. I don't know how much it would work for mango, to what extent it would work for mango, but that is a possibility. And the last option is the combination of B, C, and D. So which of these do you think is the appropriate answer? Please make up your mind: A, B, C, D, or E. E in this case is a combination of B, C, and D. So I hope you have understood the question. Um, I am now going to launch the poll for you. So here comes the request for your answer. Right. So now, right, right. So as I said, all of you have to be participating to be able to make the most of this session. So if you click that poll button and reflect on my on the process, your learning will automatically get enhanced. So I'm still waiting for one person, I guess, to or a couple of people to answer this question. My screen doesn't show that 100% have answered. I'll know who that would be if I look at the statistics. So please answer. 2 more seconds. That's fine. Okay, so we close the poll and then I'm sharing the results with you. So 65% of you have said E. So E and B have been the predominant choices, but E is by far the most preferred choice. So let's try and lock in the answer E. So these are your answers. I'm just using your answers, and it turns out that you're all doing very well. So this is indeed the right answer, which is the combination of so B, C, and D. All these three solutions can enhance the shelf life or increase the shelf life of the products. It is obvious, because delaying the harvesting time by a week or two will not necessarily enhance um, the, the, uh, the shelf life of the. I mean, you cannot reduce the losses, because the same can be done by everybody else, right? So everybody would be thinking, might be thinking that as an option, that okay, let's see and wait and see, when everybody else is finished, then I will do it, sort of a thing. So that's a waiting game that might not really reduce the losses that much. But however, having a foolproof cold chain facility, creating an alternative market, yes, so then you really reduce the wastage, and And the D option, which is the controlled atmospheric technology, also enhances. So you're doing very well. Keep going on. Keep moving forward. So now, for those of you who have not answered it right, who have not got it right, who have thought it otherwise, that was the B option. So you now know that why you could have looked at it a little bit broader. Of course, your answer is not wrong, but it is not complete. So other than somebody that have answered A, but A also sometimes might work, because sometimes delaying your harvesting might also lead to some extra profits and better prices, which works for some of the farmers sometimes, but that is given to chance. It is not an assured thing, right? So, and it is not sustainable. So that is the point. The point is we need to look for sustainable solutions. So let's try and continue further. So now, if I go to the next question, so I hope you are all enjoying this format of workshop. Um, so now here, again, it becomes a bit easier. The context is the same company, the same background. Now, what is different here is the question again. So they have hired a value chain expert. So they felt that, hey, we need to really look at the value chain of our stuff, of our mango, where it is, how we produce it, how we harvest it, how we send it to into the market, and how we get the money or the pricing for our produce. So so this is this is an expert that has a good understanding of supply and demand dynamics in the region in which it operates, right? So this mango orchard operates. So what he says, he gives the following data, the data that you see in red. During any given year, more than 500,000 metric tons of fruit and vegetable losses occur within the 30-mile radius of their farm. So this supposedly sorry, this supposedly a very what I would call fresh produce region, and within the 30-mile radius, so much of fruit and vegetable is really getting lost in that particular region. So looking at this data, different brothers came to different conclusions. Which option from the below would you find valuable? And trust me, these are the discussions that have happened in reality, actually. So don't think that these are created answers. So let's see what one brother. Not much can be done, as people may have tried different solutions that they have already thought about. So we should not bother too much about the outside production and losses, but choose the solution that meets their situation the best. So this is one of the other person or the brother from the company. So we should look closely into the product lines and the time periods during which these losses occur, and look to create differentiated business opportunities. So here is a person or a brother that is looking at this 500,000 metric tons of losses in the region as an opportunity. So he's saying that, hey, here is a interesting opportunity. We might not necessarily just deal with our produce, but maybe we could do something more as well. So we are producers and losses are natural. So let's not worry too much about it and hope the situation would be different in the coming years. So A is an option where the person is saying that, oh, losses are natural. I mean, people must have tried a lot of things. So what is the point in, again, thinking about opportunities to reduce losses? So now reflect on each of these answers, and which option would you think, which option of these would be your preferred choice for helping this business? So if you were working for this company and you were sitting on this table with these brothers, what would you suggest? That is the question. So I'm launching the poll now, and so here it is. I hope you have made up your mind. Yes, I'm waiting. Reflect, think on it, take your time. I give you another 20-25 seconds. So generally I'm giving about 1 minute time for you to just press the right button. Okay, so good that the poll rate is quite good, so that's very nice. So here I'm now closing the poll and sharing the results. So 78% of you say C, which is should look closely into the product lines and the time periods during which. So that was the majority, and it is dominating the others, um, uh, hands down. So glad that none of you have chosen A. But okay, fine. Let's see. What I do now is I will choose what you have said as a majority and see what happens. So it is right. So as always, so you have got it right. When you're really looking at new value, making profitability, you should be open. You should not say that, hey, we are going to do what we are going to do, and then don't bother about any other activity or any other situation. So this is a very interesting data, and this needs closer look at. So as a business you should at least pursue a little bit further. So indeed it is a right choice for you. So because food losses, um, like you are experiencing, or like this business is experiencing losses, a lot of other people are experiencing losses, and they also need ways to make profits. So if you can buy their produce, or if you can do something with their produce to prevent these losses, you definitely not only add value to them but also value to yourself, to your business. So there have been a couple of questions that came in, but before those questions, I take up those questions, let me just get a feel for how you are doing. So I'm launching another short poll just to see how you are doing. So is the workshop going in a good pace? Are you able to understand the stuff? Just be honest, because I want to try to be as engaging as possible, or as inclusive as possible, I guess. So I would like to know. So is it so yes, yeah, I'm closing the poll and sharing the results. Right. So 89% of you are saying manageable, so that is quite good, but I don't want to also miss the other 11%. So I'll try my best to make it a bit more slow. You can also get access to the recording, so please reach out to one of our team members. If you have missed anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to our team members. Let me see if I can take any question. um, okay, so these are questions that I got, which we can take at the end. I think it's not related to the workshop itself. So what I do now is I continue further. So thank you for your collaboration so far, and please drop in your questions as they occur to you as we are moving forward. So this let's move further into the next question. So again, the business is the same, right? The situation is the same, just that the question differs. So the consultant listened to them and provided the following interesting insight. So now all the brothers thought, okay, this is interesting. Let's look at the option C. So let's go with all the students, all the advisors, like in this case, you. So now the consultant say, so they have been reflecting on what to do next. What are the uh, how can we make benefit out of create value out of these 500,000 metric tons that are being wasted in the region. So the consultant listened to them and their interest, and then he presented this data. Fruits and vegetables as snack insight, I would say, more than data. This is an insight. um, so fruits and vegetables as snack and natural ingredients within processed foods are seeing exponential market growth numbers, and it's expected to be 220 billion by 2020. So he said, okay, this is a report that says that fruits and vegetable snacks are gaining a lot of importance. Consumers are preferring them. So each of these brothers or each of these people, company people, so they're in their board meeting or discussion, brainstorming discussion, they presented the following uh, suggestions. So different people have given different suggestions. So one of them have said we should plant new product lines that meet the fruit snacking needs. So he says that not just mangoes, we should do some more products because for meeting snacking needs. The other one said these trends are not relevant for the line of business we are in. The third one said we should form a producers organizations with other growers in the region and sell our fresh produce with greater bargaining power. The last one said in the discussion, there are only three brothers, I know that, but you know the on the table there could be more people, right? So we should forward integrate and find a way to convert the fruits and vegetables into snacks and high value products, high value ingredients. So here the most important thing is to really understand what, if you were sitting on this table, which option would you provide or which option would you choose or support? So that's the question. So would you plant new product lines? Would you say that, hey, this trend is not relevant, we are not in a snacking business, we are in mango business, we should form producer organizations, and or you say that let's try and create snacks out of our products, yeah, not just our products, maybe products of people from the region. So now I am going to launch the poll for you to choose. Okay, so which of the following approach would you choose? Okay, I'm closing the poll now. Yes, I'm closing the poll now. So I'm sharing the results. So 61% of you have said D, and another majority, that is 28%, have said C. But it is more than so it's the D is very dominant. So I will go with D. So now what is here? So we should plant new product lines that meet the fruit snacking needs. So that is not really getting in the line of what you call create reducing the losses or creating more value out of the losses. So this B is a very non-progressive answer, definitely. Farmers producer organization is possibly a better solution, is a solution that could help reduce losses, but it need not have to it has nothing to do with the snack and ingredients trends, right? So that is why this is possibly not an answer in this context. While this is a solution in general to increase the profitability and to do something with it, it is not necessarily an answer which is utilizing this trend. So always you should be contextual. So when you're providing an answer, you should be contextual as well. So here we have been presented with the data, and then we have to say that, hey, using this data, this is, or using this insight, we can think of it like this, and then we proceed further. So this option happens to be the right option, which would forward integrate and find ways to convert fruit and vegetables into snacks and high value ingredients. So that is indeed a better option. And it makes use of this trend that is being presented. So very good. You're doing very well. So if you would work with these businesses, you would be stars in these businesses. Fine. So now next question. Again, the context is the same, but the question is a bit different. So they have agreed that proceeding further with the new product lines of snacking and ingredients is a more market-driven and sustainable business opportunity. They decided to discuss further on how this could be realized. Each of the brothers had different insights on approaching this. Okay, so they wanted to use the option from the previous question that you all, majority of you have chosen. So now, which of these options? So now, how to make that possible? How to get into the business of making snacking and ingredients? So which of these options would you think offer the most differentiated value proposition? So the option A is we should send one of the brothers or one of the persons on the table have said we should send our produce to closest puree processing plant and let them handle the value creation. We should brand our produce as sustainable for snacking and ingredients and create market pull. So he's saying that let's put our mangoes or other products, we should brand them. We should not change anything, just brand them as sustainable, suitable for snacking and ingredients and create market pull. The other suggestion is we should forward integrate our business, identify a differentiating technology, and create differentiated products that has global relevance for our produce and that of the produce in the region. So he's saying that we have to invest in technology and create that can help us create differentiated snacks and helps us move further. Okay, so I think I possibly forgot to hide the poll results. So now I am kind of sorry about that. So I am redoing this particular question. So here the option is which of these options, so they are looking at a progressive option, so how to implement the previously provided suggestions, right? So now there are four suggestions. Supply the produce to a puree processing plant, uh, just brand our produce as suitable for snacking and ingredients. We should forward integrate our business, identify a differentiated technology, and create differentiated products. We should try and process and find a processing company. So the option D is to try and find a processing company and convince them to make snacks and ingredients with the produce. So the option D is more of an outsourcing option. Option A is to again changing the distribution channel. Option B is just marketing suggestion. Option C is to invest in the technology and create differentiated products. So I just tried to make it a bit more easier for you to understand these options, right? So when you want to make snacks and ingredients, which of these options would you go for as a fresh produce company, like producer of fruits and vegetables, producer of mangoes in this case, right? So I hope you have listened to my stuff before and now you're seeing it, so you can make sense out of it. So I'm launching the poll. I'll be more careful this time to close the. So which option do you think? Okay, another 5 seconds, 10 seconds maybe, for people who are finding it a bit fast. Yeah, so I'm closing the poll now. I'm sharing the results. So 56% of you have said C, which is forward integrate the business, and 31. So C and D are the predominant answers. Um, and but I'll go with C because that is still the dominant. So I'm hiding this. Now you can see it. So I say C. Right. So if you see in this particular situation, you have got it right, because see, outsourcing is definitely an option, which is also where what many of you have chosen, but that is again making you dependent on someone else, and you may not get, as a business, you may not get to uh, uh, have most of the value for yourself, for your business. So option C is indeed the right option. um, Option A is not very differentiating. It's not a snacking option. Like puree processing is more of an ingredient, but that too a very commoditized ingredient. Just marketing and branding will not help you without changing anything about your product. If you just brand it like that, it is not going to help you. Yes, identifying a differentiated technology can really help you significantly. So let's try and continue a bit further. I hope you can all see my screen. Yeah, I think yes. So now, what is this next question? So the next question is, um, again, this is possibly one of the most kind of trickiest stuff, but this is what I think you can answer now based on all the challenges or all the background you have built up so far. So now they have decided on choosing looking at the technologies, because that happens to be the predominant choice. So having decided on looking at the technologies, they have come up with these, the team have come up with these technologies. So which ones would you think helps them to create the most differentiation? So the first option, one of the technologies that is you marked as C, is instant quick freezing technology. So IQF, as it is called, so where you bring the produce to very low temperatures and keep it stable for a long period of time, right? So that's instant quick freezing. A simple hot air drying technology, so which takes up the moisture and then converts the products um, to have higher shelf life. Fresh cut product line technology, cutting the mangoes into smaller chunks and packaging them and then selling them in supermarkets or any other distribution channels. Puree processing is another technology that they can invest in. A combination of hot air drying and swell drying technologies. So I hope you have marked this, right? So C, E, A, B, D, you look at it. So C is IQF, E is simple hot air drying, A is fresh cut product line technology, B is puree processing, and D is a combination of hot air drying and swell drying. So um, now you will be asked to do this. You will be asked to prioritize these technologies in this order. So what do you think will be the right order? Hope you can get the right order. It's a little bit tricky because you may not be seeing my screen now, but you have to remember and then do this. So this is a little bit of your ability to remember and analyze at the same time. I know it's a tough one, so I give you some more time. No hurry. So the idea of the workshop is that you should all immerse in it and then get the most out of it, not to finish up questions. Right. So let me try and close this poll for now and get a feel for um, some of you are still doing it. So let me give you 10 more seconds. Okay, fine. I'm closing the poll. I'm sharing the results. So it's a tie. It's more or less. It's very close, I guess. 47% for the option DCABE and 35% for DCEBA. So let me go with the 47%. So DCABE. Let me remember that order. DCABE. So DCABE. So we do like this. DCABE. Right? So what is that? So that is a combination of hot air, drying and swell drying, IQF, fresh cut product line technologies, puree processing, simple hot air drying technology. So let's see what they have to say. So we have ordered it based on your results. So based on your suggestion, and it doesn't look like we have got it right. So what is it that is important? So the trade-off here is between the product shelf life and consumers' willingness to pay a premium. So when you choose it technology that has to give you an higher profitability, so you have to look at the product shelf life and consumers' willingness to pay a premium. So the higher value creation option is the one which beats this trade-off the best. So in business and in life, I think everything is about getting to the right trade-off, right? So that's what this is about. And here it says it is DCEBA. So let's try it again. DCEBA. That was, I think, the second best answer. So D, that is fine. D, C, B, E, A. Or was it E, B, A? Let me try this. So if you really look at it like this, so this technology is by far the most differentiating technology. So there are no questions about it. Instant quick freezing technology. So that again enhances the shelf life considerably, and their value is not very low. In the first case, the value is very high. In the second case, the value is high but not high enough. This one also enhances the shelf life, and still it's a snacking trend, right? So I would go with DCEBA, right? So I would really think that simple hot air drying technology is a better stuff than a puree processing, because puree processing, while it gives a higher shelf life, the value is not that high because it is more of a commodity. The fresh cut line technology is possibly having a good value, but the shelf life is very short, the shortest of all this stuff. So that is why I think this order is possibly the best order. Yes, it looks like that. So this is what it is. It is all about making the right choices. It is all about getting the priorities kind of right in business. So let me take a little pause here and see if I might want to um, ask you a generic question. Do you consider the scenarios and the approach interesting for you? What do you think? Because we are just trying to enhance value in all possible ways we can, to give you experience, to present you with situations that will help you to perform better in your interviews and stuff like that. So let's see what you have to say. Just feel free to say whatever you feel like. Now you're experiencing it, so you're feeling something, and then I want you to 5 more seconds for you to answer. Okay. Okay, I'm closing the poll. This is the result. So 94% of you are saying that, oh, this is approach is quite good, and some of you say that, okay, 6% of you say that, oh, they're always. If it would be 100%, then it would. I would feel that it is not a very humanistic poll, right? So that's fine. Good. We are still aligned. We are enjoying the process. So now we'll get into a new case study. I don't know if we can do all the questions from this particular workshop. I'll try to get all of them through. So now you will see another kind of a scenario, which is a greenhouse horticulture producer. And by the way, all the scenarios, or most of the scenarios that we deal with here, are practical scenarios, either me or my experts um, or have really worked on. So these are all business situations that we have worked on. So in this case, whatever I'm doing are the cases I have worked on them. So this is a greenhouse horticulture sector in the Netherlands. A group of 10 growers were very unhappy about their situation because they were not making money. Again, the same situation, less, a combination of factors. What are the factors? Excess production, again, the same situation, insufficient local demand, declining exports, and retail price pressure has made it impossible for them to make profits. So this is a big area. 10 greenhouse growers like tomatoes, cucumbers, eggplants, and bell peppers, they came together and they wanted to do something about it. So each one of them, on an average, between about 5 to 10 hectares of greenhouses. That's a huge that's quite huge an operation. So 10 hectares of greenhouses is a big operation, is a significant operation. So the next few questions are related to this. So the questions, in a way, take up. So now you can see that whether it is India or Netherlands, there is not much of a difference in the kind of problems these growers face. The production methods might be different, the markets might be different, but these dilemmas are similar, you see. So let's see this. What is the so this is the context, and what is the question? The question is, one of the grower presented the following insight: fresh fruit as a snack outperforms 62% chocolate. So which means for the first time, fresh fruit as a snacking option has outperformed chocolate in Europe. So that is a beautiful insight, isn't it? If you're a fresh fruit or vegetable grower, um, the group is interested to make use of the above insight in designing their value proposition. So what, so using this insight of consumer purchasing behavior or consumption behavior, which of these attributes will you focus on the on the value proposition, or which of these attributes should these greenhouse growers should focus on? Should they focus on increasing the product variety? Should they focus on increasing production efficiency? Should they focus on increasing taste and convenience? Should they focus on improving health attributes? So now I'm launching this poll. This is a very, very important dimension of study, which is of business, which is designing the value proposition attributes. So I'm launching the poll now. By now you have gotten used to the format, I guess. So I'm going to go a little bit faster in the best interest of finishing up the exercise in completion. So go ahead. A, increasing the product variety. B, increasing production efficiency. C, taste and convenience. D, improving health attributes. Yeah, I give you 10 more seconds to finish up. Okay, so I'm closing the poll now and I'm sharing the results. So 44% of you say C, 22% of you say A, and 22% you say D. So now you see that when we move from a very standardized, technology related stuff to a consumer side stuff, the choices are not that dominant. You see now, it's very difficult. If you are sitting on a table, it's a bit difficult to come to choose one of these attributes because it's dealing with consumer attributes, and in most cases this drives business fully. So let's go with C, as still C is a dominant kind of an option. So that happens to be the right choice. But however, it's important to reflect on each of these attributes. So increasing the product variety. So increasing the product variety is not addressing this insight. So yes, that is an interesting attribute in a possibly another context. Increasing production efficiency is again an interesting choice in another context, like what we could have talked maybe in the context of mango growers possibly. Taste and convenience, yes, that is what it is. So if it is has to be about snacking, snacking is all about taste, and snacking is also about convenience, because people prefer chocolate or people snack chips or other stuff because of taste, and it is convenient to carry and snack wherever you want. Improving health attributes, yes, that is not the prime focus when it comes to the snacking. If you have to choose one of these four options, it has to be taste and convenience on this particular context. So I am going further onto this particular stuff. Please drop in your questions as they occur. So now this is going to be the scenario for the rest of this workshop. So the scenario is the same group of 10 greenhouse vegetable producers wanting to improve their profitability, looking for solutions, right? So this would be your job, right? When once you get into a company, you have to help people make more money. That's it. So you have to help them find ways to make more money. That's when you will make more money, or in fact, you will make any money to start with. Um, so what is this? So 70%, the insight here is 70% of the consumers plan to increase their fresh fruit and vegetable consumption and reduce their fatty food intake. So they want to reduce their fatty food intake. So pay emphasis on that, reduce their fatty food intake. So which of these attributes would you choose in the value proposition to make use of this insight? Increase the fresh fruit and vegetable consumption and reduce the fatty food intake. Offering higher level of convenience, that is one option. Increasing the product variety, another option. Increasing production efficiency, another option. Improving health attributes, another option. So which of these four options would you choose in this particular context? So here comes the poll. I hope you have made up your mind. I'm launching the poll. This is not easy. This is all there is to business, to really identifying the attributes you want to provide to the consumers. Right, good. So we have got these responses very fast. So you have learned a lot from the previous explanation, I guess. So I'm kind of closing the poll now in another 3 seconds. Yeah. So I'm sharing the results. So it's dominated by D, as you can see. 72% of you have said D, and only 17% have said A, and the rest is a little bit smaller in number. So I'm kind of using your results, locking it in. Yeah, that happens to be the right answer. So now what is important to understand? So again, understanding the context is so important. So the context here is this. They want to increase their fresh fruit and vegetables, so they're preferring and reduce the fatty food intake. Why would they reduce fatty food intake? Because they are more conscious about their health. So why are they increasing their fresh fruit and vegetable consumption? Because they believe that that will have a positive effect on their health. So that is where, so this is about the statement, the insight here is about health and wellness. So it is, if you are a producer, you have to work ways to enhance the health attributes of this particular stuff. So getting it all right, almost all right. So the toughest question, which I get myself wrong most of the times, is what you got wrong so far. So it's quite a good performance. I'm very happy with this workshop. So now, the next question is about one of their investor has provided them with the following insight. Established fresh produce brands outperform their category performance by a huge margin, in some cases up to 50%. So the above insight got them interested. So now they are discussing on this insight, right? I don't have to read you for that. So the most important thing is this. So one of them, uh, one of the people said, branding is difficult, and hence let's try private label retail branding. Okay. So for those of you who don't understand private label retail branding, if you are when you are some retailers contract producers to pack them and brand it on their brand name. It could be a specific name, or it could be the name of the retail company. So that's private label branding. So we are producers and hence should focus on production only. We should experiment with branding at least for a part of our production and evaluate its relevance for our business in the markets we operate. Let's start with full scale branding. So A says, no, branding is not interesting for us. We should go with private label branding. B says, oh no, don't worry about anything of this sort. We are producers, focus on production. C is saying that we should slowly start getting into that zone of branding. The D says that, hey, we stop all our activity in a current form, we just go with full scale branding. So now I am launching this question for you. Yes, I'm closing the poll now in 3 seconds. If anyone wants to get their yes. So I'm launching the poll. I'm impressed with this answer because it's fairly one-sided, right? So we should experiment with branding. And it is, I thought it is not a, in my previous workshops, I did not feel that this is the most easiest question. So I have a very intelligent audience here. So I'll go with this particular stuff. So as you have rightly said, this happens to be the choice because private label branding is an option many people choose, but then that is not going to enhance your value in the market. So it is not necessarily always a very interesting option. So the second one is a very non-progressive option. So that was straightforward. Option D is a bit risky because, you know, not only risky, why is it risky is because, you know, there is a learning on every strategy or every direction you have to go. You have to experiment a lot. So if you move from one to the other, it's like when you're driving a car, it's like moving, it's like turning a corner, right? So if you turn a corner, if you do the full steering, you won't really do the right cut, right? You have to just go in the right pace, in the right way. So it's a very encouraging. So at this stage, what I would, oh, sorry. I thought I hide the poll, but I didn't. So you got it right. So that is what I was just explaining the answer. So it's nothing has been lost so far. So now let's see. Let me see if I can get to. I have hold you already for more than an hour. So I want to see the three more questions we could do based on this particular case study. So I'd want you a response on whether you want to go further. So we might need another 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes to finish this up. So I leave it to you. So far I'm getting majorly yes. So it is good to see that you're all quite interested and engaged in this particular thing. So that's fine. So I'm going to go further. So let's see what the next question is about. So the next question is about distribution strategy. This is another challenging part. Now, why this is important is because if you can answer this type of questions, you really can get very, very good positioning in your jobs, and not just this kind of questions, not only answering them, but creating them. So these are all very important for business. So if you can really understand this and able to connect with these kind of dilemmas, it's going to help you a lot in your careers. So each of the three business cases had a differentiated value proposition. So they are looking at different profitable business cases in the Netherlands. One of them was focusing on taste and convenience, other on convenience, and third one on health benefits. And all of them had differentiated niche distribution. So they looked at uh, differentiated value proposition, and they said that one of the common factors for them was that they always focused on niche distribution. Niche means very precise distribution, very precise. So there were four different suggestions, very precise and not done by a lot of people. So let me also be as precise as I can be. um, So please choose the one that these one strategy that these group of 10 growers can choose. So one of them has said that let's stick to selling through the auction houses. So in the Netherlands, most of the vegetable growers still fruits and vegetables and flower growers sell through auction houses, and you need to really understand the Dutch auction model. It's very, very interesting. Maybe something for some other day. Let's supply to mass retail. So we are looking at niche distribution, and these are the options that are being discussed. Let's supply our produce to mass catering business. Let's supply our produce to office catering business. So you need to choose the most niche distribution method of these four options for this company. So so here you get to have your choice. So I'm launching the poll now. Hope you have made up your choice. Five more seconds. Okay. So I'm closing the poll now. So this is a surprising result for me, but I will go with this. So you are saying 53% of you are saying meat. So let's see. So 53% B and 29% C. So let's try and click your option for B and see what it has to say. So you can imagine that supplying to mass retail is not a niche distribution, isn't it? So if you go and ask any producer, first thing you ask them, okay, where are you going to sell? He will say to retail, right? So that's a normal, so everybody, and that to mass retail. So that's not a niche distribution. So the niche distribution in this case is selling to produce to office catering business, for example. That's niche because you really are you need to have some sort of specialization in products or offerings and so on and so forth. So that's about this particular thing. So let's try it again. Let's get it right. Start test. Let's supply this. So we got it right this time. So I'm continuing. I have two more questions to finish up, but possibly this will go very fast. Let's try to take them very fast. This is another very interesting question. Several of you might work in in input companies or farming businesses. So one of the crop breeding companies approached them and suggested that they have developed special breed of products in their line of operations. They expressed collaboration with the grower group to offer their current breeds and develop new ones to suit their value positioning. So these were the four options that were presented. Let's not focus on specialized partnerships and focus on getting crop breeds of the shelf. So they said one of the suggestion was, hey, let's not focus on these partnerships at all. Let's try out this partnership for a trial period and experience its benefits. So the second option suggested was this: we should not believe in partnerships with crop breeding companies. So the third person said, hey, this is not in our interest. We should not give our information to crop breeding companies. The final one said the crop breeding company is not reputed and hence we cannot trust them. So they are new in the market, so we cannot kind of trust them, is what the other person says. I hope you have made up your mind by now. So I'm getting with launching. Yeah, so I'm closing the poll now. I'm sharing the poll. So 75% of you have chosen for B and 13% for C. So the gap is quite significant. So I just hide this and say B as you have mostly said. So you are right. See, innovation is all about experimentation. If you want to be innovative business, if you want to have as a differentiated career in your stuff, you need to experience. You cannot experience everything, but you should experience things that are different, that are promising. So in your life, in business, it's only experimentation that leads you to differentiated results. So that's nice. Let's continue to our last question. So we just hit the time buzzer at this point, but I think I'll finish this question and then maybe take one or two questions that have come in, if they are relevant to this context. So this is a very interesting question. In India now, there's a lot of talk about sustainability, and everybody is looking at ways to build sustainable solutions. So now, which of these options can be embedded into the business model? So they want to be a sustainable business, and these were typically the answers that suggestions that came on the table. Support building schools in Africa, deliver products with healthy attributes consistently, and that is their contribution to sustainability. Invest a lot in promotion to create a sustainable image. Invest in getting an association with sustainable NGO with high reputation. So these were typically the suggestions that came up. So I'm curious to see what you think about it. You may have heard of sustainability, you may have worked in sustainable projects or assignments. So how should this business build their sustainability profile? So I'm closing the poll in 5 seconds now. You have really enhanced the speed over this last 75 minutes. So that's very good sign. So I'm getting most of the responses, about 75% of the responses in the first 15 seconds. Okay, so I'm closing the poll now. I'm sharing it. So the 76% of you say yes, B. 76% of you say B, and the other answers are not dominant to consider at this stage. So yes, this is a very important theme, and which you have got it right, which is good. So supporting schools in Africa is not strategic, is not core to the business. So they should not do that. That could be a corporate social responsibility initiative, but not a sustainability initiative. So yes, if you do your products better, you deliver positive value to the people that consume your products. That's the best thing, in this case, health. Promotion alone is not interesting because everybody can do that, but over time it may give you some short-term results sometimes, but not in the long run. Sustainability NGO, and so without, I mean, again, you're not doing anything positive with your core value proposition, so that's not a smart choice. So you got it all right. So well done. You have finished your workshop very successfully. And I thoroughly enjoyed your participation. Let's see if I can take one question or one or two questions. There have been. Uh, so the questions. So there is a question on starting up an agribusiness for agro inputs for fertilizers and all that. So I think we will speak more on the career fronts than on starting up the business. So that's Kari Subramaniam. Some parts of the how could I ask and whom. So fine. If you have any questions, yeah. So Kanchan will be able to take those questions up. Okay, a lot of questions. Okay, mom. Sure, I gain knowledge from it. Yeah. How much time it would take to get the certificate is one of the questions. It would take a day if you have been part of the session. Only then you will get the certificate. So keep attending our other sessions as they come in. Every Sunday we are organizing something very interesting. So have not been other questions so far. It has all been good. I think you've enjoyed the session from the looks of it or from the things. If you have any suggestions about a workshop format or anything like that, please do share it with our colleagues or with me. We look forward to having you on our programs, especially the industry readiness program. If you're looking for a job or if you need more assistance and more experiences in these kind of workshops on a personal one-on-one basis, we have so many of them in the learning management system. So thank you so much, and sorry that I took 6 minutes over today. Generally that is not the case. I do it on dot, or we make sure that we do all the sessions on dot. But I hope you have enjoyed the engagement session. We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. Bye bye.